Hello everyone, welcome to today's news chatter. Let's begin with a prelims practice question. Right, so take a look at this question. Space is always a very interesting topic when it comes to UPSC, and UPSC always prefer to ask some question, whether in prelims or in mains, related to space. So whenever you come across any particular term in the news, you need to study about it very clearly. So these are all the terms which generally we see in news. uh, they have provided a statement explaining about certain things. So let's read the statement first. It is a supermassive black hole that is gradually growing rapidly by gorging on huge amount of gas. So they are telling that there is a supermassive black hole, not a normal black hole, a supermassive black hole that is growing in size. How is it growing? When a black hole is growing, that means more energy should be incoming. So how do they attain this? By getting a lot of gaseous objects inside it. What is the statement mentioning about? Whether it is a quasar, pulsar, supernova, or neutron star, all these terms have been generally in news. So you need to study about it. This particular term refers the quasar. Quasar is a supermassive black hole, a very big black hole, which sucks in everything that is around it. So all the other planetary bodies will get absorbed by the black hole, due to which too much of energy will be there. So it keeps growing. That is called quasar. About other objects, you try to study what the meaning is. United Nations Human Rights Council. United Nations Human Rights Council is in news because of the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. Also, this UNHRC should be studied very well, because even big countries such as United States of America, India have been critical about the UNHRC in several instances. So you need to know about the basics. What exactly it is? It is a body created by the United Nations General Assembly. So this point is important. It is created by the United Nations General Assembly. Earlier, it was called as the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. When UNHRC came into being, this was replaced. So that's not much important, but United Nations General Assembly is the body which created it. That should be known. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights serves as the Secretariat of the Human Rights Council. Human Rights Council has a specific secretariat, and the secretariat is the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights. So this is headquartered in Geneva. Elected by the UNGA. It is made up of 47 UN member states elected by the UNGA. Members of the council serve for a period of 3 years and are not eligible for immediate re-election after two consecutive terms. So for two consecutive terms, they can serve, but after that, they won't be able to. So this point should be noted down. For two consecutive terms, they can serve as members, but not after that. 3 years plus 3 years. At present, even India is a member. Universal Periodic Review. It assesses the human rights situation in member states. So, United Nations Human Rights Council publishes a periodic review which assesses the human rights situation in member states. There is a complaint procedure also. Any country can file a complaint against any other country, or uh, any particular individual or organization can also be raising a complaint. India was elected to the council for a period of 3 years, 1st of January 2019, and again it was re-elected. So these points should be known. Study very well. Moving to the next one. Forest fire as a disaster in India. What exactly is forest fire? Forest fire, when if we are getting this as a question, because in the recent times, because of the increase in global warming, increase in the global temperature, forest fire has become a general phenomenon. So we need to know how to write a definition for it. Definition is very simple. Any uncontrolled and non-prescribed combustion or burning of plants in a natural setting such as a forest, grassland, brushland, tundra, anywhere, wherever it is, it should be uncontrolled and non-prescribed combustion. In such cases, which consumes the natural fuel and spreads based on environmental condition, that is based on wind and topography. So if a fire is spread in the top of a mountain, because of the topography, it comes down also. Because if a fire is started in a particular place and if the wind is blowing in northward direction, it spreads to northward direction. If there is a forest where too much of dry wood or dry grass is there, then it spreads very easily. So these are all called as the geographical conditions. Three essential element is required if a forest fire should happen. One is fuel, then oxygen, and then a heat source should be there. There are three different kinds of fire. First one, surface fire, which spreads on the surface of the earth. Then comes the underground fire. The fire that is spreading on the surface goes down because below the earth's surface, we have a lot of organic content. This organic content will serve as a fuel, so it burns down. It can go up to several meters also. Then we have a canopy or crown fire when the fire spreads to the topmost part of the forest, that is to the trees and on top of the grasses. November to June is considered to be highly vulnerable for forest fire in India. The biennial Indian India State of Forest Report, India State of Forest Report, which comes once in 2 years, in its 2021 report said that the total fire-prone forest area is 35.47% of forests in India. India already have very less amount of forest. We have been trying to increase our forest to 33%. At present, we have just 24% of the land as forest. Out of this 24 percentage, 35.47% of the total forest is already vulnerable. And we have a lot of indigenous people living in the forest, so that will also cause a problem. Measures, what measures we have been taking? Just two measures are there. One is National Action Plan for Forest Fire. This is the first measure. Second one, Forest Fire Prevention and Management Scheme. When we talk about National Action Plan, the government has formed an action plan to reduce the forest fire. How? By increasing the information dissemination and then enabling forest fringe communities, that is, people who are living around the forest or inside the forest. Forest Fire Prevention and Management Scheme is a government-sponsored program to assist states in controlling forest fire. Forests in Northeast India, Odisha, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, these are the most vulnerable to fires from November to June period. So these things should be known, especially for mains examination. This is very important. The RBI has told that it is going to introduce cash deposit through UPI. Very simple concept. Now we have cash deposit machine in the banks and in ATM centers also, where you have to put in your debit card and then you can put the money inside and it will get deposited into your bank account. The RBI is trying to introduce a measure where you can go cardless by just using your UPI. So with UPI, you can enable depositing the cash directly into the machine. So what is the procedure and other things will be told very soon. At present, this much you should be knowing. And here, when we talk about this, certain important facts about UPI and National Payment Corporation of India should be known. UPI is the biggest among all the NPCI operated system. National Payment Corporation of India operates several other systems also, such as Clearing House, the IMPS, NEFT, all these systems are there, but it is the UPI which is the biggest out of everything. NPCI is an umbrella organization for operating retail payments and settlement system in India. It is an initiative of Reserve Bank of India and Indian Banks Association. So this point should be known. NPCI is a not-for-profit organization, not for profit, NPO, not for profit organization. It is registered under the Companies Act. Take a note of it also. And it is an initiative of not just RBI, by RBI and Indian Banks Association under the provision of Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. These points should be known. One important point today, it was in news, and you all should be knowing that Indus Valley civilization is a very favorite topic of UPSC. So, Rakhi Gari skeletal analysis with DNA analysis of the skeletons. So some skeletons were found out in Rakhigali some years ago, and they did a DNA analysis. Rakhigali is in Haryana state. You can look at the map here. It is in Haryana, and these skeletons were analyzed, and they found out that these were pastoral communities, but they were completely indigenous in nature. So whenever we talk about the Indus Valley civilization, we tell that people from the Central Asian countries came and settled here, and they started a culture here, that is Indus Valley civilization. There is a difference of opinion. But this particular survey, this particular research proved that it was completely endogenous. There was no foreign DNA found in any of the three skeletons. So this clearly shows that people who were living in Indus Valley civilization, they were completely indigenous in nature. People who were belonging to this region around 4,500 years ago, they were completely indigenous in nature. So this particular data should be known. So that will be all for today. All the best, study well. Let's meet tomorrow.